bang. That went in. Cash. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing alright. Now I hope this video is going to make your day even greater some way, somehow. Today we're going to be reacting to the NBA playoffs are out of control. So we'll get started with this video. Make sure to make that great thumbs up. Light up blue. It will throw confetti at you. Click on that rectangular box thingy to make it gray so it can change colors. Share this with whoever, how many other people you like, whether it's your cousin, your aunt, your grandmother, your father. It doesn't matter who it is. Also comment down any thoughts or reactions on the video, also as well as your video suggestions you have for me and I'll react to. And also comment down, as of the recording, it is Tuesday, May 31st, so the first game of the finals hasn't started, but the Celtics just won yesterday to advance. I had them beating the Heat all the way. I knew the Heat weren't they were more competitive than I thought, to be honest with you. The only reason why I thought they were gonna get ran, I thought they were gonna lose in 5 games against the Celtics, because in the regular season the Heat against above 500 teams weren't really that competitive. So regardless, in the NBA Finals, I want to go with the Warriors so easily because they've been there, done that. But I also want to see Jason Tatum win a chip so bad. I want to see him win a chip, but it's going to be so hard against these Warriors. But the Celtics have a great defense, and it's been working in a modern era of just straight offensive plays, right? But the Celtics also can do offense as well. But I have the Warriors winning. It wouldn't surprise me not one bit if they win. But I want to see Jason Tatum win a chip, because I feel like that's the thing he has to take in this, to be remembered by the type of player. He is that type of player that can win you a chip. And if he does that against this Warriors team that has won, what, 3 chips with Curry, Clay, and Draymond, I think that'd be very legendary. But here we go. Let's get into these playoffs. These playoffs were crazy. I tried to watch as many games as I could. Come on.
2,802. This is the total number of players to ever play in an NBA playoff game. From the best to ever do it, to some players you've probably never even heard of. Among those 2,802 players, 164 of them never scored a single playoff point. A few of these players include a man named Fatty, Basketball Hall of Fame coach George Karl, and his son Kobe Karl, and a guy named Jeff Halliburton, whose most notable accomplishment was being Julius Erving's cousin. In fact, here is every single player to ever suit up for a playoff game in the history of the NBA, sorted by points per game. 2,802 players throughout the NBA's 75-year history. They're all here. Here's Bulls legend Alex Caruso in the 1,144th spot. Here's Bimbo Coles in the 816th spot. He's not really relevant here, I just wanted to say his name. Here's Horace Grant. He played a lot of playoff games, but wasn't the greatest scorer. Here's Manu Ginobili. He played in even more playoff games and was a slightly better scorer. But you won't get into any real all-time great scoring territory until you get into the top 150 on this list. Scottie Pippen lands just outside of that threshold at 17.5 points per game at the 152nd spot. Keep climbing and you'll find Kevin Garnett, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, Jason Tatum, and all the way at the top, you'll find the greatest playoff scorers in NBA history.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too, by asking your healthcare provider.
LeBron James, Jerry West, Kevin Durant, Allen Iverson, and of course, Michael Jordan. With a playoff scoring average so outrageous that even in the grand scheme of the entire history of the NBA, the gap between him and everyone else is massive.
For Jason Tatum to only be in the league for what? I want to say 4 years, and for him to be right here, can he really pass KD or LBJ? That's a crazy thought.
This graphic took an excruciatingly long time to make. My head is pounding, and I hope it was all worth it, because there's actually only 2,801 players on this graph. There's one player missing. There he is. The one and only player to challenge Michael Jordan's godlike scoring at the highest stage, Luka Doncic. The kid is making history every time he steps on the court, and he's just getting started.
Okay. I get his chart now. He's going on points per games. Who's averaged the most points per games from 0 to whatever. Gotta do it. Yeah, right. So so he's not doing it by the total amount of points they've scored in their careers. He's going by how much they've averaged in the playoffs in their entire career so far. Okay.
One of many unbelievable facts about this year's NBA playoffs. Today's video is sponsored by Noom. It's easy but health platform that takes step control cognitively disable audience. Playoffs all the excitement.com/Jimmy. This year's NBA playoffs have been a non-stop thrill ride for NBA fans.
It has.
With the occasional blowout that drains all the excitement.
There has been a lot of blowouts.
But it's all worth it because we also got games where records were broken and history was made.
The first two
and then we're left
really
with another blowout that drains all the excitement from the whole experience. But aside from every other game being decided in the first 15 minutes of action, the 2022 NBA playoffs have been nothing short of incredible. So here are 10 unbelievable facts about the NBA playoffs that you have to see to believe. In Game 6 against the Pelicans, Chris Paul had one of the wildest stat lines I've ever
he only
seen.
missed like one
13
shot.
13 for 13 from 2, 1 for 1 from
He
3,
didn't miss a single shot.
and 4
Okay.
for 4 from the free throw line. The man didn't miss a single shot the entire night and finished with 33 points. In terms of shooting, this was
in the
the
first
perfect
round.
game. Quite possibly the rarest feat in basketball. But you want to know what's crazy? Chris Paul isn't even the first player to accomplish this feat in the playoffs. Among players who attempted at least 10 shots, 2 players previously accomplished this feat. Don Nelson, who made every shot in a 1974 playoff game, and Serge Ibaka, who didn't miss a single shot in a playoff game back in 2012. But here's the catch. These games aren't even the most efficient shooting performances in playoff history. That game belongs to Duncan Robinson, who had the most efficient shooting night in NBA playoff history just 11 days prior to CP3's perfect game. In Game 1 against the Hawks, Duncan had a true shooting percentage of 129%. Yes, you heard that correctly.
How does that make sense?
Because Duncan Robinson
So I
shot
don't
so many
understand
threes
stats.
and
So I
hit
don't
so many
understand
threes, the value of each shot he took that night was far greater than Chris Paul's,
Oh,
despite
okay.
the fact that Chris didn't even miss a single shot. Incredibly hard to believe, but true. And while we're on the subject of incredibly weird but true occurrences, we need to talk about DeMarcus Cousins. Because in the first round against Golden State, Cousins scored a playoff career high in points. Now, when I first heard this, I thought maybe his playoff career high was 30, maybe 35 points, but it's not. It's 19. Now, the reason why this number is so absurd is because out of the 674 total games Cousins has played in his NBA career, he has scored at least 19 points in 350 of them. That's more than half. And yet, somehow, he's only managed to clear 19 points once in the playoffs. His playoff career high before this game against the Warriors was just 15. Some not so notable players who have a higher career playoff high than DeMarcus Cousins include Jared Dudley, JaVale McGee, Matthew Dellavedova, and Patrick Beverley. Now, if you feel like this year's playoffs have felt a little different than what we're used to, it might be because of the absence of 2 players, LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Because this is the first postseason in 17 years that hasn't featured LeBron or Durant past the first round. The last time we saw the playoffs without these 2 all-time greats, the year was 2005. Allen Iverson led the league in scoring, Chris Paul was playing for Wake Forest, and LaMelo Ball was still in diapers. Boy, how the times have changed. And times will continue to change because one of the longest standing records in the history of basketball just went down, and pretty much no one noticed. On May 7th, in Game 3 of the Warriors-Grizzlies series, Jonathan Kuminga became the youngest player to ever start in a playoff game in NBA history. Well, at least we initially thought he was. The official length of the previous record was held for at least 51 years. The night of this game, Kuminga was just 19 years, 213 days old. Now, to put into perspective just how young this is, LeBron James didn't get his first playoff start until he was 21 years, 113 days old. And Kobe Bryant didn't get his first playoff starts until he was 20 years, 259 days old. The NBA wasn't sure if Kuminga broke the all-time record record since stats on starters and their age weren't officially introduced to the NBA until 1971. But, thanks to a Redditor by the name of Tringle Pringle, we now know that the original record was set much longer than at least 51 years ago. Tringle Pringle is some sort of data tracking wizard, because the man has kept track of starting lineups dating back over 100 years ago. And according to his numbers, Jonathan Kuminga broke a record that was originally set back on March 25th, 1910, when the Trenton Potters beat the Reading Pretzels 33-24 in the when the Trenton Potters beat the Reading Pretzels 33-24 in the EBL championship. Yes, there was once a professional basketball team by the name of Reading Pretzels. The Pretzels' starting forward in that playoff game was a player by the name of Hein Blessing, who was just 18 years and 362 days old. Which means that, as far as I'm aware of, Jonathan Kuminga broke the longest standing record in the history of recorded basketball. And I guess that's pretty cool. But the magic of Tringle Pringle doesn't end there, because the NBA Reddit wizard also
ads coming up.
There's an unconscious white girl in our living room. We should call 911. Are you crazy?
Emergency. Rated R. Start your 30-day free trial.
Do you guys have YouTube? I don't.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. Get Simply Unlimited, our most affordable unlimited plan, starting at just $20.
Discovered that in Game 4 of the 2022 Eastern Conference Finals, the Miami Heat's starting five combined for just 18 points, the least amount of combined points from a starting five in the playoffs in NBA history. But thanks to Tringle Pringle, we can look into starting lineups prior to the existence of the NBA. On March 12, 1944, under the order of Adolf Hitler, German Nazi troops invaded Hungary. This event is a landmark in world history. But what relevance does this information have on a YouTube channel about basketball?
I was just about to say,
well,
bro.
Game 2 of the 1944 NBL Finals was also on March 12, 1944. And in this finals matchup, the Fort Wayne Zoners defeated the Sheboygan Redskins 36-26. And on that night, the Redskins starting five combined for just 18 points. Which means that the last time a starting five combined for just 18 points, Adolf Hitler was in rule of Germany. The Miami Heat somehow managed to play worse than any starting lineup since World War II. And that, my friends, might just be the most disgusting statistic I have ever uttered in my life. But the Miami Heat aren't the only team to go down in horrendous fashion in this year's playoffs. In my last video, I spent 10 minutes breaking down the monstrosity of a Game 7 the Suns put together against the Mavs. But what I didn't mention in that video was that the Suns actually managed to fall into the second largest first half deficit in the history of the playoffs, trailing by 30 points at halftime. So it's settled. Every single player in NBA history to accomplish the top 100 individual playoff game performances in modern NBA history. 3 of them came from Jimmy Butler. At the moment, Jimmy Butler leads the playoffs in value over replacement off monstrosity of a...
Alright. I had the Suns winning this series, and even then, when the first half was over, I thought there was still a chance after, like, second half. I was like, there's no way the Suns are going to go out this sad. They're playing in Phoenix. They're the number 1 seed. They're playing in Phoenix, number 1 seed, and I just didn't. I thought they were still gonna have a chance second half. I don't know what happened, bro. That series was crazy.
Game 7 the Suns put together against the Mavs. But what I didn't mention in that video was that the Suns actually managed to fall into the second largest first half deficit in the history of the playoffs, trailing by 30 points at halftime. The one and only time a team had a larger deficit at the half was all the way back in 1956. But surprisingly, they actually didn't have the least amount of points scored in the first half of a playoff game. That record belongs to, well, the Phoenix Suns, back in the 2000 playoffs when they scored just 23 points in the first half against the Lakers. Despite coming up short on their run to defend their NBA title, the Bucks put up a great fight in the second round of the playoffs, all behind 2 monster series by Giannis Antetokounmpo. The man was doing everything in his power to carry his team throughout the playoffs, including grabbing every rebound even remotely close to his vicinity. Giannis' season was over 2 weeks ago, and yet he still leads the playoffs in rebounds by a massive, massive margin. In fact, despite not even 4 playoff games this postseason that cracked the top 100 individual playoff game performances in modern NBA history, 3 of them came from Jimmy Butler. At the moment, Jimmy Butler leads the playoffs in value over replacement, offensive box plus minus, total box plus minus, player efficiency rating, win shares by a mile, and win shares per 48 by a mile. The man is leading the playoffs in every single major advanced statistic. There's no real name for this accomplishment, but
Offensive box. Like, these type of stats don't mean anything. Yeah, Jimmy Butler is a great player, one of the best in the NBA, but he had some great games. We can talk about that, but these stats to me really don't. Win shares per 48, win shares 3.6. Like, what do these stats really mean? Offensive box plus slash minus value over replacement. What does this mean? Like, his value over him being subbed out, or like him being injured and then being like replaced by somebody. Like, to me, these stats just don't. Like, if you were just giving me these stats, oh, Jimmy Butler's the best player in the NBA, right? That's what it looks like, but we all know that's not true.
But it's impossibly good. In fact, here's a list of every single player in NBA history to accomplish this feat in the playoffs. That's it. Jimmy Butler is playing at a level that only LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have ever played at in the NBA playoffs. So it's settled. The NBA Mount Rushmore is LeBron, MJ, Kareem, and Jimmy Butler. And I refuse to accept otherwise. Because these are 10 facts about the 2022 NBA playoffs that you had to see to believe. Hope you all enjoy.
Jimmy.
And as always.
Jimmy. Hold on, wait. Can you guys see this now? Yeah. Jimmy. MJ, LBJ, Kareem. Without a doubt, I have. If someone were to tell me that, without a doubt, right? I have no problem with someone telling me, yo, Kareem, LBJ, and of course MJ is up there, right? But Jimmy, if you're going to tell me that Jimmy Butler, off just those stats themselves, are the best playoff, are the greatest ever people in the playoff. Hold up. Yo, Jimmy, this is really controversial, man. Like, this was a great video, the way you put your effort in, but bro, to say these are the great... Hold on, he has to be trolling, right? Let's finish off the video. He has to be trolling. 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 He has to be trolling.
Until next time.
No, you're trolling, right, Jimmy? Did I miss something? Troll. Jimmy.
I refuse is LeBron, MJ, Kareem, and Jimmy Butler. And I refuse to accept otherwise. Because these are 10 facts about the 2022 NBA playoffs that you had to see to believe. Hope you all enjoy. And as always,
Jimmy!
Until next time.
Jimmy! Nah, bro.
And Jimmy Butler. And I refuse to is LeBron, MJ, Kareem, and Jimmy Butler. And I more is LeBron NBA playoffs. So it's settled. The NBA Mount Rushmore is LeBron, MJ, Kareem, and Jimmy Butler. And I refuse to accept otherwise. Because
Jimmy! Alright. Hold on, man. Hold on. Jimmy, I love your videos, man. Right? You do great content. You put in so much time into your how you show your stats. I learn more about statistical basketball watching your videos, right? Plus, it's entertaining to watch. But Jimmy, you cannot sit up and tell me, man, that Jimmy Butler, without winning a championship, is one of the greatest ever to step foot in a playoff game. You cannot tell me Jimmy Butler, without winning a championship, is one of the greatest ever to do it. MJ, LBJ, Kareem, no problem. Without a doubt, they deserve to be there, right? But Jimmy Butler, greatest ever? Jimmy, come on, dude. So we're just gonna say screw Kobe, screw KD, screw Steph. Shoot, you can put Ray Allen in there too. KG. I mean, there's so many great NBA players that have won a championship. Jimmy Butler hasn't won a championship. My main reason of saying that he's not the greatest ever, he's one of the great players in the NBA today, yes. Right? The effort he does, the plays he does, the attitude, the energy, the mentality that he brings in, right? Don't even get me started with the defense, right? But this guy hasn't proven that he can win a chip. And this is coming from someone that wants Jimmy Butler to win a chip. This is coming from someone that loves watching Jimmy Butler play the game. But if we're doing a Mount Rushmore, Jimmy Butler does not deserve to be on there. Because the point of the playoffs is to win a chip. If you didn't win a chip, what are you in the playoffs for? The mentality isn't to win a chip. What are you in the playoffs for? Of course, Jimmy's mindset is to win a chip. But they didn't even accomplish that. Even Kyle Lowry said, "Yo, this year is a waste because if we're not going for a title, it's a waste. It's a waste of a year." The point guard of the same team that Jimmy Butler plays for said that. That's coming from someone that actually won a chip. Yes, Kyle Lowry. Kawhi Leonard carried that Raptors, but Kyle Lowry was a big fundamental piece in that Raptors even before Leonard even joined. So he deserved that ring no matter what. And he still showed up every single game. Even though he did miss like a game winner. But bro, but I'm trying to tell you, Jimmy Butler does not deserve to be there. And I feel like one day you're going to look back at it. You got to look back at it and be like, no way I said that right. Because you've done that in the past before, but no way, bro. You're going off those stats and putting them on the Mount Rushmore with these three GOATs. That's crazy. It's just really crazy. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, bro. Wow. That's crazy. Great video, Jimmy. I respect your opinion no matter what. But dude, come on, man. He hasn't won a chip. You're in the playoffs to make it to the NBA Finals and win it. He hasn't done that. Regular season, you can say that, right? But playoffs is a different level. He hasn't won. This is crazy, bro. We're gonna wrap the video right here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to make that great thumbs up. Light up blue or throw confetti at you. Click on the rectangle box thingy to make it great. Share it to whoever, how many other people you like, whether it's your grandma, your cousin, your classmate, your neighbor, your teammate, whoever, right? Comment down your thoughts and reactions on the video. Comment down also any video suggestions you have for me, and I'll make it happen for sure. Also, comment down who you guys have winning the Celtics and Warriors series. I personally have the Warriors winning. The experience is going to get it to them. But I want to see Jason Tatum win the chip. But wouldn't surprise me if the Warriors win. So if I were to bet my money, I would put on the Warriors. But hope you have a rest of your day, rest of your morning, rest of your night. See you in the next one.